Hello, welcome to Andertons TV. My name is Jack Duxbury, and this is
George Hearn from UDO.
Thanks so much for being
here.
Yeah, lovely. We've just sat down in the room. We've got Gary and we've got Oz behind the camera. And Super Gemini don't want to. We made the deal to not kind of plan this.
Yeah.
Other than just enjoy having this in the room and see where you're at with it, really, and what you want to show off.
Yeah. Well.
Not show off. Show about this. That's the wrong word. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can show off a little bit.
Yeah, okay, cool.
We are quite proud of it, obviously. Yeah, I mean, it's been a little while. I think we've been hiding a little bit. I've been hiding doing work on our Super 6, getting an update prepared for that and getting this ready for sale. You're looking at a production model of the Super Gemini here. We showed everyone at Super Booth in May in our little bungalow, which you came and visited us in. And yeah, this is the Super Gemini. It's a 20 voice dual layer polyphonic binaural analog hybrid synthesizer with super wave technology. I don't know how many words that is. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 word strapline.
Perfect. So
if there's any prizes going for that, maybe we can at least enter the competition. But yeah, it's a 61 key poly aftertouch analog hybrid synthesizer. It is basically what it says here.
Awesome.
In a similar vein as the Super 6, and yeah, I think we're very proud of it. It's a big instrument, but it's a manageable instrument. You know, it's it's got lots of expressive controls with your sort of poly aftertouch and. Yeah, your dual layers, so you can build up sounds with independent controls of 2 totally different sounds that are split on the keyboard or layered. It's really about having fun, you know. It's like the playing and the performing are not 2 things. Everything's a performance. If you're sat here, you've got your headphones on or whatever, you're performing, aren't you? Mm-hmm. You know, working out the sound and working out the notes together is the same process here. And I think that's what all of our instruments focus on, is that you want to get lost in sound, you know. And yeah, this is a nice instrument. Despite its largeness and its large number of controls, I would actually argue it's quite easy to use.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if you look at it, I just got everything in the down position.
Cool.
And I'm just listening to a Sawtooth. So the most basic Sawtooth, not even with any envelope. It's like almost a usable sound already, you know. And sometimes simplicity is actually the key thing of an instrument. If you can make just one Sawtooth with no filter, something usable, then you've got the basics of a sound. So what we're listening to here is just, like you say, I've gone to init patch. Everything's just pulled down. Mm-hmm. You know, I've got one oscillator here, mixed in the middle. I'm only using the top layer because I'm in single mode. And you can build everything up from there, really. So let's put, say, a bit of envelope. So, and that's just with the binaural off. So this is pure mono this time. So what you can do is you press a button here, and then what you've got is straight down the middle mono sound. So what you're listening to is just a really nice, just really simple. And it's the simplicity that's like the great thing. The sound is clean, but still with enough analog grit. And then if you want to go from there and say, okay, right, let's maybe add another oscillator. That's a sine wave actually, but classic detuned saw. And then, I don't know, maybe you want to put a bit of drive on that. Just sort of straight into your kind of maybe put a bit of slide on here. And that's still sort of straight down the middle kind of. So we're straight into just
This is the most noises I've heard from Oz ever. Oz is basically getting into synths, I can tell, and I'm hearing so many noises. This is so exciting.
So if we
It sounds freaking
now, for example,
yeah.
Now I've turned on binaural, and I've got super waves on. See how it's so clean whilst at the same time. I mean, maybe people are listening to it on the phones who probably can't even hear those frequencies, but we've got some nice speakers in here, so it sounds pretty good.
Really, yeah.
So what I wanted to show that you can go from a simple Sawtooth straight away, and let's go back to where we were, shall we? Put it in straight down the middle, mono, little monophonic patch, and then we're there. And of course I've got a little bit of expression, which is of course polyphonic. So if you want to go, for example, right, okay, I'll make an organ sound. Okay, I'll just switch it to sine waves and fifths, mix the oscillators in the middle, got a ring modulator now, sort of visibly like a CS80 type thing. Again, maybe we'll have no envelopes this time, and we've got no effects. Everything we're listening to is all completely dry, which I think helps the sound, but for this, maybe we'll have a little bit of, tiny bit of delay on there. So now, let's go up an octave. I need polyphonic, of course. Get off the portamento.
It's lovely being able to the expression.
Yeah, but we went from a Sawtooth to that. I didn't even listen to it.
Yeah.
You just go, right, set that, set that, set that, and off you go. And straight away, here, so let's maybe put that on a solo. Maybe we've got a... And that's sort of clean sound, and we can add a bit of ring. Gives it a bit of discordant, which is quite useful for kind of keys type sound. Let's take the bottom end out, because often if you're doing a sort of keysy patch, you need to take a bit of bass out. But yeah, it's just of nice tones and sort of subtle things. So that's just the tone as it is. But then we're still listening to it in true mono down the middle. So let's start adding a little bit of expression. Let's add a little bit of super oscillator. And now maybe let's give ourselves a little bit of envelope release. See, again, we're listening to very basic on-off envelopes. Okay, let's give ourselves maybe a piano-y type envelope, which is just sort of decay and release like that. Okay, maybe a bit of extra delay. And that's just from the basic sound of the Sawtooth. We're sort of building it up, and then we go, okay, right, so if I just detune that, now I've got, let's give it a bit of resonance as well. And we've got like a bell tone, you know? And of course, everything's real time. You know, there's no clicks or jumps or going from one thing. High sample rate of these FPGAs that make the architecture. I mean, you can get really lovely. Even the sort of the clicky percussive sounds. Let's put a long feedback and a short delay. Quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you don't get any of that kind of digital clickiness. You get kind of like...
How have you made the click sound good?
Ages and ages and ages of development to basically... I know it sounds silly, but actually this... being really nerdy here, the human ear hears the beginning of the sound. Like the sustain of a sound, if you just heard that on its own, doesn't tell you much about the sound, but our ears hear the bit at the beginning. So how things behave in that way, how they, the attack portion is really interesting. So you just make sure you do everything really fast, high sample rates, you have low control feed through in your VCAs, and you just basically have sensible control ranges. I'm gonna see something cool, is that I can loop these envelopes. And I can loop them so fast that they make their own tone. And the looping envelopes, even that, when it goes into audio rate, starts making harmonics, you know? Let's put some distortion on it. It's just nice, isn't it?
It really is.
And it's also like every kind of demo we've done before, it's sort of everyone naturally gravitates with instrument like this to these big evolving pads.
Yeah, whack it all on.
But hopefully I can show you that it's not just about that. You know, yes, our instruments are really good at that kind of like soundscapey pads, swirling, lots of oscillators, but you know, they're also good at just sort of really simple down the middle sounds as well. Let's put a bit of pitch envelope on that.
So brutal. So brutal.
Probably clipped out your sound there, but anyway.
I was just doing everything he can between just having audio orgasm and trying to deal with the levels. It really is a physical. I mean, you've got to come try one.
Yeah.
You got, and with big speakers. We should have a room set up with speakers, not just headphones, because it's a different thing.
It's a different thing.
Actually,
it's a different thing.
Right?
I'm going to show you something now quickly. What we're going to do is we're going to set the oscillators at octaves to each other, and we're going to put a bit of slow envelope on. Slow envelope, just push everything to the top. Going to put a bit of delay on it. Maybe we'll leave the chorus out, because I think the chorus is a bit of a swamp all effect. It kind of hides a lot of the detail of your sound. And we're going to maybe detune these ever so slightly, put them in the middle, and maybe if I just play the keys, maybe a bit less resonance. got a bit of pitch envelope. I'm going to take that off. And we got to that sound without even listening to it. It's just like, once you learn it, you can go, okay, right, well, to do strings, I just need a sawtooth, and I need like, you know, a slow envelope, and I've gone straight from like bass to kind of a nice pad already. Then we get onto the aftertouch expression. So I put it here, you've got polyphonic pressure. Basically, fairly complex and difficult to play in most cases, I found, when I first came to it. But if you just set everything roughly in the middle, including that, it's where you want to be for most sounds. So we found that actually adjusting the rate and the depth of a modulator with your expression gives you the most natural response for this sort of thing. So it's just a little bit of expression, but it makes it really quite a difference. Yeah, and so this is the journey. So you could get lost in that sound, but then let's try, for example, let's add in the other layer, shall we?
That was the ultimate flex. I was about to mention. I was like, if you don't mention this, I'm gonna burst, because that's just half of this thing.
Okay,
right?
So let's do...
All of that was with...
That's just with one layer. I'm using both oscillators, but most of what we were doing to begin with was just the one oscillator.
Wow.
So let's add in another layer. This time, what we're going to do is we're going to have... What are we going to do?
I told him to... Look, this has been in the diary for a bit. You come in and I was like,
it's exhausting. It's exhausting. So every time you play anything, I'm just like, ah!
He's been stuck with me, just unboxing nonsense for weeks.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to try and make a classic bell and space sound. So to do that, we need a little bit of envelope with a bit of decay. And then I think what we'll do for the lower level, we'll have a bit of a... And I'll chorus it as well. And I'll take the bottom end off of it. Surprisingly useful. It's interesting, we haven't even got key track of the filters on. I was wondering why it was like bright here and a bit muddy up here. I'm going to turn the volume of that level down a bit. Yeah, and we remember we've got here from just starting on a Sawtooth. We've only barely minimal moves, and I know I'm cheating because I know how to use this thing, but the point is we didn't tap any digits in the menu. We didn't look at any complex routings. We haven't, the modulation, this is a production model, but we haven't got the sort of firmware all together yet, so there's no modulation matrix. You're not hearing anything beyond what you're just getting on the panel. And I think I could probably take this sound. No reverb or anything as well. But I did put a bit of chorus on the bell sound, which is of course the ring modulator. So that's what we're listening to there. Let's go up an octave on the upper layer. Get some interesting sound effects by, I don't know, let's have ring mod on and a kind
This
of
is
sweep.
such a treat, isn't it? Beautiful, beautiful playing as well, man.
Yeah, awesome.
And let's set the, at the moment, have I got it on layers both? Yeah. So what if we take that down a bit? Maybe loop that. And then if we track the envelopes and loop them, and then we'll give it maybe quite a long echo and bring that down a little bit. Let's see what that sounds like. Now we're into some interesting effects.
I'm fascinated by this. The ring mod is new. How is that implemented? Is that between the relationship of the oscillators, or is it an effect? Sorry for my ignorance.
Yeah, no problem. It's between the oscillators. So what you're listening to here, for example, let's just put it in single mode. So let's just listen to the. So that's just me modulating one oscillator, and I'm actually looping that envelope, which is why it's going pew pew. And hopefully you can hear it. Ring modulators are often like quite weird effects, yeah. But this one, in my opinion, well, I've done quite a lot of work on it to make sure it's musical, you know. It might be a bit bonkers, but
how did you go about making something that sounds so pleasant but extreme at the same time?
I'm actually quite enjoying messing around with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's try a different. It's going to be harsher now if we switch it to squares, so let's filter it off a little bit. I find ring mod works quite nice when you've got carrier as a sine wave and the modulator as a complex wave. Yeah, so the key is, well, it's a little bit of like filtering and slew rate limiting the various signals, and just making sure that, yeah, you're doing things at high sample rates, that you aren't getting any weird numerical errors, etc. And yeah, and then eventually you get these lovely, let's put it on sine and sine. Okay, so let's try something interesting. Let's do a really short envelope on the ring rod pitch. Let's take our filter down maybe a bit. That's actually inverted the envelope, sweeping the pitch and ring modulating. It's very good straight away for... Let's bring the other layer back in. I don't know if it's like Quatermass in the pit or something. But yeah, lots of fun you can have with it. And of course, we have not touching on things like oscillator synchronization. So for your classic stuff. Let's go down. Let's do a real nice slow sweep. God, we haven't even touched the LFO yet. And we're going to
Just keep going.
We literally just, yeah.
This is such a treat.
Let's just have a little bit of, let's do
It's
a real
like
nice
I'm in the internet right now. I've watched so many videos of you playing this, it's such a treat.
I haven't heard one bad sound, like at all. Every single sound has been like, oh.
It's the goat.
So hopefully you see that my gesture there is a very small one. I'm literally not moving my finger, just rolling it. And I think this is one of the things. Ribbon controllers aren't new, right? They've been around for ages, but in my personal opinion, half the time they don't work as well as you might like them to. But I'm really proud of this one. Yeah, because it's capable of doing very subtle movements. You don't have to actually move your finger around.
Wow.
And even do trills. Yeah, which is really nice. And because, of course, it takes away everything being chromatic pitch. All of a sudden, I don't have to do it. And something very cool, I haven't got the sustain pedal present in the right place, but we won't worry about that. If I, say, for example, hold a note. So I'm holding those strings at the bottom. Let's bring the bass in a bit. It will only bend the keys you're playing.
Unbelievable.
Which allows you to build stuff up. And I think if I've held the delay.
Right. So you've frozen the delay.
With the pedal.
With the pedal.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh man, it's hours of fun, isn't it? As you can hopefully see. And of course, yeah, we're just scratching the surface, frankly. We're doing this is basic level stuff. If you really sit there and you play with it, there's so much more to it. We haven't even started modulating anything with an LFO yet, or talking about some of the sort of nice things that does. Yeah, it just goes on and on.
Maybe for another time.
Yeah.
But hopefully that gets across to you out there. Just come in and try the thing, because you've created. I always use this phrase, bowling with the bumpers up. When I'm trying to teach piano, I want people to feel confident. Just don't overthink it. Just throw the ball, enjoy a bit of bowling.
Try it, move this, move that, see what happens.
And you make me feel that and the product you've made makes me feel like I can give it a go.
And also, it's very difficult to actually damage this thing.
Right, yeah.
This thing is really tough. I know it's big, right? But it's very tough.
Not unwieldy.
It's fully metal,
not unwieldy.
And it's not unwieldy. You've got a nice lip under here for putting your fingers under. Mm-hmm. You've got a nice grabbing lip here. It goes in here. It's all metal. It's reinforced along this axis, so you can stand it on its corner and spin it round like that if you want. Awesome. It's tough. Use tough mechanical buttons. And sort of robust mechanical controls and big toggle switches. It's do you remember those Fisher-Price tape recorder things with the giant buttons?
Exactly.
I had one of those.
And you master it. That's the other thing. This feels.
You can learn it. Yeah.
You can learn it.
You can learn it, and I want everyone who uses it to be able to get to it and go right, I noticed this is my instrument, my instrument's a bit scratched, I did that, I bashed that when I went to that gig, we don't worry about that, because things that are made out of solid painted metal look great when they're scratched and old. I want this to look great in 30 years or something, leaning up next to some nice guitars like you got over there in the corner of the studio, and but still holding its own and still looking honest and genuine. But you just pick it up and play, and off you go, see what happens. I want someone to find their sound right away. It's I know this. I go to I just do that, and that. No, I'm here. Well, and that's where I like to be. Because I can do that, can't I? And if I just move X, Y, and Z, I'm in this area, and I'm comfortable in this area, sort of thing. So what we've done here, just one last thing. We've got a few more minutes for the video.
All the minutes.
So we've got what's now essentially a fairly complicated split patch, I believe, haven't we? Let's turn it down slightly. Let's roll it back. All right, we started, didn't we?
From nothing.
We started from nothing.
Can we deconstruct this?
Can we deconstruct it? Can we roll it back? And I say, right, okay.
I can't.
Let's go to a single layer, back to the top again, and let's just go back to the beginning. Let's pull our knobs down. Let's keep it on sawtooth. Fine. One oscillator off, cut off up, pull those down, maybe leave a bit of envelope. Simple envelope like this, delay off, and with any luck, that was how many movements was that? And if I did that, not demonstrating it, I could do it like this. and then I'm done, kind of. And that's why we have everything slightly different. You know, you've got little clusters of rotaries and switches and things. So it's like, oh, that bit looks like that. That's my that bit. And so from here, let's give it a bit of that. Let's give it a bit of that. Give it a bit of that. A little bit of that. And let's go down here, and then maybe I'll choose a couple of octaves here. Let's go there, there, there. Let's give it a tiny bit of pitch expression, bit of envelope there. Ooh, what am I doing? Doing something interesting.
It's hard.
Let's do a little bit of that, a little bit less of that. Down a couple of octaves. Put it straight down the middle in mono. So we're back to a really simple sound. Let's have some delay, but let's tempo sync the delay. Is that, I don't know whether that's dotted crotchets or not.
Yes. Woo!
Let's put a bit of key track on. And anyway, just so you can build up and you can build back down. And then of course, one thing we didn't show at all was that of course, you've got all these lovely digital wave shapes. Everything we were doing there was Sawtooth and Sine. Sawtooth and Sine only. But you've
What a
got,
statement.
of course,
Such a statement. I just destroyed all the other synths with 2 waves.
so this is the interesting organ-like wave, and then it just goes into its own
Oh, what?
own place after that, basically. A bit of that, and I don't think we even had any resonance.
The way it can inhabit these other sounds and shapeshift is incredible.
Anyway.
Available to try at Andertons when they're in the store. That's the best thing about Andertons, in my opinion, is that we've got a showroom. Yeah.
You got to play it. You got to sit in front of some speakers and experience it. And then I think, yeah,
Yeah.
If you don't love it.
And we
then
will
get
help
your ears
people to do that
checked.
because it's the most fun thing ever. And yeah, we're in Guildford, if you didn't know. It's just outside London. Even if you're travelling to the UK and you're in London, it's like 35 minutes on the train, you come out and try one of these things. Thank you so much for being here, Josh.
Thank you, Jack.
And
thank you.
Thank you for everything you make. It's a real pleasure.
No, thank you for inviting us.
And we'll see you again soon on Andertons TV.
Wicked.
Cool.
Sounds so dope.
We just rescored June.
With like, and just such a flex. Like, I haven't even used half of my power.